Hello, hello. It's Prog Review 498, and today, if you haven't read the title description, I'm talking about Ambient 1, Music for Airports by Brian Eno, nonetheless. Yeah, I've got the lights on. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but it might as well be midnight. I've had to put lights on. Oh, tuck my vest in. Don't see my vest. Tis winter. Yeah, and it's oh, dog's just woken up. The 6th studio album by Mr. Eno. I don't think we've covered this before. I hope we haven't. Who knows? Maybe we have. Maybe I should have checked before recording this. But we'll carry on. If I have, it could be a repeat. A repeat. Repetition is a form of change. I think, isn't that on one of Eno's oblique strategies cards or something? Repetition, music for airports, repetition, tape loops. Oh God, everything's connected. I don't know. Maybe I'm just. I feel like I'm repeating myself all the time. So yeah, some of you are not going to like this because it is ambient music. It is minimalist. It is minimalism at its best. It is that kind of stuff that you'd find in sound installations. And again, you know, this was released in 1978, and it's hard listening to it to believe that it was done that long ago, but it was released back in 1978. Now, he dabbled with ambient music before and tape looping. You hear it on Another Green World, Evening Star, of course, with Mr. Fripp, and I suppose you could bring No Pussyfooting into it as well. They were tape loop experiments. Discrete music, which really is kind of his first ambient album. I should have done that one. It was just because I was listening to this morning. I was chilling out. I was having a chill out, you know. And of course, Harold Budd's Pavilion of Dreams, which is again very very ambient. Really, Darren. Really, you should have swallowed that dictionary by now. See, the thing with this is he's using tape loops and layering tape loops on top of each other, and these loops can be varying lengths, and so the sounds overlap each other and go in and out of sync. It's a very good technique to use, actually. I mean, I use it myself with my looper pedal. I can have, you know, loops of various angles, and I can actually program them to run out of sync with each other. And so you start creating generative music. Generative music was music where it generates itself, and so if you put loops that are out of sync with each other, varying lengths, it becomes a little bit random, you know, a little bit more spontaneous. And you can, if you listen to it, it becomes ever changing. It's like looking at a lava lamp, the musical equivalent of looking at a lava lamp. I think I should copyright that almost sounded intelligent. But anyway, and so we're on with this album, this here album, and what you get at the back, on the back, is quite interesting. You see that? See all this? This is Eno's kind of notation for how the loops run, how it all kind of fits together, and it's quite interesting to look at that. Yeah, just absorb that for a minute, because you can see how the various bits, you know, drop in, drop out, and come back again. Because yeah, Eno did apparently notate what he was doing, so it's not as random as we think it is, which is quite interesting. The first track, because there are 4 tracks on the album, it's 48 minutes long, and they're titled in terms of their side number and track number. So you've got 1-1, that's the first track of side 1/1, and that features Robert Wyatt. Oh yeah, he's the guy. It's a co-composition, and it's Robert Wyatt playing the piano. And it's probably the track that you've heard, because they use this track, the opening bars of this track, very often in documentaries, or, you know, in things on the television, or even in films. It's almost kind of synonymous with ambient music. So yeah, you're listening to a bit of Robert Wyatt there. Isn't that amazing? And it's a very progressive. It's a very progressive track. Again, to have this constantly repeating refrain, but it also seems to be changing, but it isn't. Again, it's almost like a trick of the mind. It's, you know, it's very, and again, I don't know how many times I've listened to it. It's like a puzzle. I don't know. It's like what's the tree? The monkey puzzle tree. You ever seen one of those? It's like looking at one of those, and again, looking at the notation on the back of the album gives you a hint of where Eno's mind was going. And again, it's born out of improvisation, so interesting. Two of the tracks on the album, 2-1, which is the second track of side 1, and 1/2, which is the first track of side 2, feature vocal loops. He has 3 women vocalists, Krista Fast, Christine Gomez and Inga Zeininger, singing, and you hear their voices, various tones. It's quite, that I find mesmerising, even mesmerising. Did that come out like that? And again, it also reminds me of Claire Hamill's Voices album. But there's something about these 3 voices moving through the air, especially on the record. You get a little bit of crackle as well, just to make it a little bit more organic. I find it quite sensual in a way. It's almost like those ASMR videos that you see on the YouTube these days. And if you put a couple of cans on, you can tell my muso, because I say cans instead of headphones. If you put your headphones on, I find it magnificent. And again, the timings change. It's really subtle, and there's just these washes of colour. Colour of Sound, Vertical Colour of Sound is a book by Eric Tam. Do read it. It's about Brian Eno. You can pick, I think the PDF might be even online. Go and have a look at that. Eric Tam also did a book about Robert Fripp and Guitarcraft as well, which is pretty good fun. So you get these vocal only pieces, which are and then the final track, which is called 2/2, second track of the second side. It's all performed on a synthesizer, the ARP 2600, 2600. I think I've also got to say ARP as well, just in case I've said it wrong, because there'll be somebody in descriptions that said you said it wrong, you've pronounced it, it's not that, it's this, and then it's the letters and the numbers, and I think I've done all combinations there. Okay. But it's performed on the synthesizer, and so you get, again, washes of synth sound, and it's very different. It's very different from the other 3 tracks, obviously, because it's on synthesizer. But there's almost more of an organic part. It's actually I think it's the busiest track on the record. Yeah, I don't think you can see. Again, there's lots more going on that one, and it does seem a bit more busy and a bit more random. But yeah, I mean, when you put it together, it's an incredible record. It truly is, and it kind of, when you listen to it, you think, why am I bothering doing ambient music? Because Eno did it all with this one. And again, there are so many things you can do with ambient music. But I like to have a dabble. Some say it's self-indulgent, and well, ambient music isn't it? Experimental music is a bit self-indulgent, but the funny thing is it was actually put as an installation in New York's LaGuardia Airport. So there you go. So it really did become music for everyone, and it's been covered as well. Bang on a Can, All Stars have covered it. So it's become its own thing now. It's become alive. It's its own. It's not just an album. It's become an installation. It's become a cover album. And that's the interesting thing about something so almost intangible. It slips through your fingers. These notes as they waft and weave their way in the air, but then they exist in other places, in other forms, and that's interesting. It's a bit like Terry Riley's In C, taking on a life of its own in other versions. I think yeah, In Sea and Music for Airports are probably are. There's a good parallel there. I think. Oh, getting a bit deep, isn't it? Of course, only a few hundred people have watched this video because it's about ambient music, and really, you should all be going out there and listening to this. It is one of those albums that I think would broaden your horizons, even if you don't like it. You can sit down and think, this is an interesting way of creating music. This is very different, very alien. Again, if you're into a certain style of music, this will take you out of your comfort zone, and that is a good thing. It's like me listening to the jazz once in a while, takes me out of my comfort zone, makes me question my existence, etc., etc. And that's what we all need. We need to be poked with a big stick now and again. So yeah, do go and check it out. In terms of rate, it gets a 5/1/1s. It's the worst one yet, isn't it? 5/1/1s out of 5. It's essential. You must go and listen to it this moment now. But don't blame me if you nod off. It's very relaxing. Very good if you are suffering from insomnia, that kind of thing. It's very calming. If you've had a stressful day, darkened room, and Music for Airports, and I tell you, Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. And on that, I think we can end it. I've been Darren Locke talking about Music for Airports by Brian Eno from 1978. Don't forget, you can give me all your money because I'm one of those terrible e-beggars and I love the cyber fame. I'm a cyber fame junkie. Come on, find a vein, inject me with it, and I think I'll leave it there. The only other thing to say is, there's links in the description. If you want to buy the record, if you want to give me some money, and the most important thing is we all prog on.